Yo, what the heck is going on, guys? It's your guy, Coke or Hector, and we're back at it like a crack addict. And today, I'm coming at you guys with a whole new series, and this series is called Social Flex. Social Flex is going to be about using your social skills and becoming flexible with them, using your social skills and becoming strong with them, and essentially just flexing your social skills. So I'm going to break it down into segments over time. Maybe I'll do some like live in-field demos. That'd be kind of cool. Just got to get a separate cameraman to follow me around. But anyway, that's thinking ahead. Today, we're going to talk, this is episode 1, we're going to talk about the basics. So when I think of the basics of social skills, I will break it down into these 3 things, and I want you guys to write it down, and I want you guys to put this into practice. These 3 things, these are the basics of social skills. Number 1, talking, of course, and I'll break it down, but let me go through the list. Number 2, icebreakers. Number 3, listening. Right? So let's go back to number 1. So talking, it's how you express yourself. You could do it a good way, you could do it a right way, you could do it a wrong way. Normally, when you talk, you want to talk somewhat loud. You don't have to like scream, but you want to project yourself well to be heard. Because if you just talk like this and you're very like shy and timid and you don't really know what I'm saying and what? You know, like you don't want to do that. You want to talk loud. You want to talk with purpose, especially if you're a guy. But even if you're a girl, you can talk with purpose. People will pay attention to you when you talk with purpose. Second is you got to know how to talk, right? Because if you're talking really fast, no one's really going to understand you. And it's like, what the heck is he talking about, man? He's just talking, rambling. I don't really know. It's just went all over my head. Like, no. You want to talk at a nice, steady pace, slow, if possible. You want to have rhythm. You want to have space in between your words. That's what going to captivate people. It's going to help them understand you better. And yeah, talking is just like a little bit of how we communicate as humans. The body communicates so much more, but we're still talking about just physical words. Another thing, there's a stigma in society. People don't like to talk and be their true selves. They feel scared. They feel anxious. But when you remove that social filter that society programs within you, you just experience freedom in the form of words. Like you could just say whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. You just have to because everyone thinks. Everyone has thoughts. Their minds go on loop, probably runs all day. It's just really about choosing which thoughts to put words behind. Because you can't put words behind every thought. You have to watch what you say. You have to watch how you say it. And we'll get to how in a moment. But your mind is constantly running, is constantly filled with thoughts, whether you know it or not. You go outside and your mind is like, wow, it's nice outside. It's hot today. You're thinking that in your mind, but you're not saying it with your mouth. But what I'm kind of talking about is whenever you get a thought in your mind, like feel free to express that thought. And a good way to express that thought is to practice your talking with a talking drill that I like to call infinite talking. And I learned this from some mentors, but essentially what the practice is, you set a timer, 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, and you just talk about anything, whatever. I'll do like 30-second demonstration. Let me wait for this clock to go. Okay, so I'll go right now. So this is a Rubik's Cube. A Rubik's Cube is known to test your mind and keep you sharp. It has multiple colors. It has green, it has orange, it has blue. Blue is actually one of my favorite colors because I feel like it represents the sky. And speaking of the sky, planes, they fly in the sky. And I remember this one time I went on a plane ride over to Disney World in Florida. Speaking of Disney, my favorite Disney movie is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Christmas is a really fun holiday. I love opening presents. You see how I'm just like putting out topics and I'm just monkey bar swinging to the next one? Infinite talking. You could just do that 5-10 minutes daily. You're gonna get so good at talking. And you might stutter at first, there might be like awkward silences, but don't put pressure on yourself. Just keep talking, and even if you go slow, even if you don't have much to say, you just talk for as much as you can. But yeah, that's a good drill. As far as how to talk, well, you really want to keep into consideration the other person's feelings. And there's a way in your voice that you project that. Like, for example, say I have a dog and the dog peed in the house. You know, if I could say the same thing, the sentence would be, don't do that in the house, right? Now I'm going to say it scary. I'm going to say it harsh. Don't do that in the house. What are you doing? You know, like, obviously don't talk to people like that. That's really aggressive. That's really like harsh and strong. Generally, if you want to give off good energy, you want to talk to people with kindness, and you want to talk to people with compassion and empathy. And, you know, if I were to say the same phrase, oh, I see you peed in the house. Okay, don't do that next time, all right? We're going to take you outside right now, but please don't do that next time. Said the same thing, but I said it with a little bit more, you know, softness, respect. And that's how you want to talk to people, especially people in higher positions, whether it's like a coworker, a boss, a mother, father, teacher. Like, you want to talk to them like they're your elders, you know? You want to talk to them with a sign of respect simply because they're older than you and they have more life experience than you. And just because that, on the other hand of the spectrum, it's like that doesn't mean that you could just do whatever they say and they could just walk all over you and take advantage of you. Like, no, you have to use your words to stand up for yourself too, respectfully. But that's just a little bit of talking. I could talk about talking all day. Let's move on to icebreakers. So icebreakers are pretty much topics that you would use to break through a conversation. Because when you first approach someone, whether it's a cold approach or a warm approach, it's going to feel a little awkward. There's going to be nerves, and you're going to need like an icebreaker to actually get the conversation going. And I think the easiest, I'm just going to give you one because it's so versatile. If you don't have anything to say, if you run out of things to say, or you don't even know how to start a conversation, just use a compliment, right? So let me set this camera up. All right. So say you want to give someone a compliment, right? There's different words you could use. I'll do one for a guy example and a girl example. Okay, so say you want to compliment a guy and you're a guy. You could be like, oh, cool hat, bro. I like it. Where'd you get it? If he's wearing a hat. Or it could be his shoes. Like, hey, those are sick shoes. Those are those Jordan 3s. I have a pair as well. Where did you get yours? You know, I'm just kind of making an observation. I'm picking something about the person that makes them look unique. And I'm talking about that out loud because I probably thought about it first in my head. So I'm expressing those thoughts with my words in a respectful manner, in a cool, chill, laid back manner. And I'm providing context. I'm providing my own personal story. You know, oh, I see you have those shoes. I have those shoes too. I got them at XYZ store, whatever. So then you could follow up with a question. You know, where did you get them? Are those your favorite pair? Is that your favorite color when it comes to shoes? You know, there's like a lot of ways you can go with it, and that's what makes it fun. It's like a racetrack, but there's no set track. You could just go wherever you want. So, yeah, icebreakers are really good. Compliments make people feel really good, and it makes you feel good for using them. And when it comes to a girl, say I'm a guy and I'm talking to a girl whom I like, right? And I want to display intent because I think she's beautiful. So say her hair looks really nice. You know, while in conversation, I could just say something very easy, very casual, like, oh, I like the color of your hair. It goes good with your makeup. It's very pretty, you know, and you could just add that. And then you could follow up with a question and you could say, have you dyed your hair any other color? And that's a good one because you're picking something that's unique about her, like her hair, because girls work very hard on their hair. And you're just highlighting it. You're putting a spotlight on it. You're acknowledging it. You're making her feel seen. You think it's pretty, so you're using like a romantic trigger word to display intent, to display romantic attraction. And yeah, you know, it just makes her feel good, makes me feel good giving that compliment. And you can reverse the roles. You know, if you're a girl complimenting another girl, you could just keep it casual. You don't have to use a romantic trigger word. But if you're a girl and you're complimenting a guy, like, oh, you could be like, oh, that shirt looks really nice on you. It looks handsome. You know, something like a male, masculine, romantic trigger word. So, yeah, that's Cliff icebreakers. I was gonna say cliff. I don't even know what I was gonna say. Cliffhangers. Those are icebreakers. Compliments. Okay, so the last thing is gonna be listening, and this is arguably the most important because when you're talking to someone, when you listen actively, they're gonna give you little nuggets of information that you could use to propel the conversation forward. And when you're listening, a good way to let them know that you're listening and that you're paying attention and making them feel seen is when they're talking, you could just nod. And then you could give like little acknowledgments that you're listening. Oh, I hear you. Oh, that's crazy. What? Just little responses, you know, just little responses of enthusiasm or of shock. Like, what? He did what? You know, just add some like emotional spikes in there, and just nodding and just nod and smile, right? And then yeah, the nuggets of information. So I was even doing that with the talking practice. Like, say you are talking to someone and they mention they like video games, right? Video games, that whole world, that whole topic, that's a nugget of information. So then you could dive deeper into video games. You could be like, oh, what's your favorite video game? And then they say, oh, my favorite video game is GTA, right? So you have different topics, you have different nuggets. You have favorite video game, and then you have GTA. Which one do I want to talk about? Oh, let me talk about my favorite game. Your favorite game is GTA, but my favorite game is Kingdom Hearts because XYZ. And then I could bring the conversation back around and be like, oh, so why do you like GTA? And then they could be like, oh, I like GTA because you could steal cars and you could rob banks and you have guns, right? Oh, so now the nuggets of information is robbing banks, which is money, cars, guns. And I could choose any of one of those, or I could even go through all three of them back to back or spaced out. And I could just be like, oh, you know, what interests you about guns? Or are you a sports car or a muscle car kind of guy? Or you can even guess. You can even be playful and just make a guess. You could be like, oh man, GTA, huh? Just by looking at you, you definitely just whip around the monster truck and you just run NPCs over. I could tell. You know, just like teasing and being playful and kind of throwing little verbal jabs for fun. And it all comes into your delivery. Like if you say that, what I said, with like an angry look on your face, and you say it like fucking mean and angry, then yeah, it's probably gonna fight you. But if you say it with a smile on your face, smiling with your eyes, and just like laughing, playful, it'll be recepted well. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Keeping it on the shorter side. Those three things: talking, icebreakers, listening. Take my tips, run with those, do your own research, and type in the comments if you want to see me like do live footage, like out in the field, out approaching girls and talking to anyone and putting groups together, you know, it's just different techniques of talking. Or if you have any other questions or topics that you want to talk about, like, oh, you know, he taught me how to talk, he taught me how to listen and do icebreakers, but how do I go on a date? How do I form a network? How do I form a social circle of friends? Like all that type of shit. You guys can ask me, I got you.